Okay, let's talk PCD. PCD, the album from one of the biggest girl groups, Pussycat Dolls. Unfortunate situation this has turned out to be from one of the greatest girl groups to exist. They fucking dominated the world. They toured off of this bitch for 2-3 years, bro. Like, they were at it for some time. And then to learn how the business was for these girls behind scenes, it's quite upsetting because these girls are irreplaceable, so they should be treated fairly, and they are what makes the group the group. Yes, Nicole is lead and singing everything, but there are background vocals from Kermit and from Melody and possibly some other girls, but for sure those two. I miss the days when they started out this way and they were quite friendly with each other. And it was just the three up front that were the singers, and then there was the three like background dancers that went hard out, right? So I like the placement of that for everybody. Seems like that didn't quite work out. These girls were working like wages, fucking hourly, weekly wages, bro. Like for these shows and shit, they're getting paid fucking nothing. That's part of the deal, that's for sure. With the label, they're working as like employees through, I think it was through Pussycat Dolls. So through what's her name? Robin. They had the deal with the label. Pussycat Dolls had the deal with the label. They picked Nicole as like the lead singer, so she had her own contract and shit. So it just really complicated the situation. But we didn't know about these things, so we just got introduced to them as a girl group, and everyone had their placement in the group. So we thought, until moving forward, when Nicole tried to go solo. In my opinion, I think Nicole took too long to go solo. When she was starting to drop the solo stuff, I think the first thing, if I remember correctly, the first thing that I heard solo-wise was Steam. Was it Brian Cox that produced that, if I'm not mistaken? That was a fucking banger. So they had the moment there to release something. I just think that they took a little too long on it. She was hot for a second. There was that Avant track she did. Diddy joint come after? There's a few things that she was on. She was on the Shaggy album and shit, and this was all during the time of the PCD album. And this album, bro, like that fucking so many singles. Every song could have been a single. It pretty much was. That was a really great debut. Nicole's involvement on the album, I think she wrote, and she looked out for herself. And when you understand the contracts and all that stuff like that, yeah, I guess, and it makes sense to why she looked out for herself. But at some point in time, you go solo and you have 5 other girls behind you, and it doesn't seem to have the same effect, but yet it's the same kind of structure and design, but it flops, and you make a whole fucking album, and you got some singles that didn't do shit, and you take that album and you repackage it differently with the Pussycat Doll brand, and you put those other girls in it as well, and it does better, bro. You gotta wake the fuck up and realize that your solo shit just might not kick off the way that that you might imagine it to, but you should maybe focus on this as a success and ride the fuck out of it. I don't know why everyone says that these girls don't offer much. They're just background dancers in the background. That may be the case, but for some fucking reason, you take away those girls, bro. Nicole just can't fucking do it. There's a recent showing that she did after her award, her winning, what was that shit? Anyway, she won that award recently. Congrats on that. I like Nicole, by the way. She did this performance. She performed the Buttons dance break, and the fucking background dancers, there was a lot of them, but they all looked like they were doing their own fucking thing. It looks like they picked these dancers at like a dance factory or some shit. It was sloppy. It was pretty sloppy. And then I've seen other performances of hers in the past where she's had other girls dancing behind her. It's just not the same effect. It just falls short. It's like it's missing something. You're performing the same fucking hits and you got these girls dancing behind you doing the same routines and shit. It just doesn't hit the same. But then that reunion happened and you got Kermit back. Unfortunately, Melody didn't come back, understandably so. No, you got our favorite redhead back and shit, and like everyone's there. Just, it's missing one, unfortunately. That's it. And I wish that Melody would have came through with it, because that would have just been fucking epic. But it just showed signs that nothing changed. If she didn't get any type of guarantee, whatever the offer was, it wasn't anything fucking different from what they were doing before. So probably saw it as like, what the fuck's the point? Fuck this. You hear her story in her interviews about how she was treated and shit, saying that she wasn't dancing good and she was replaceable. She looked like she was fine to me. I always saw Melody as like as a fine dancer, and she blended in well with them. For someone who I never knew, or until it was said, that was a bad dancer, and had zero dancing skills. She did really well to blend in with these girls that were professionals. She did well to fit in. So it was just unfortunate that she wasn't there with the rest of them. But when those girls got together and they performed the reunion shit at the it was the X Factor, bro, it was fucking. They're such a force together. They're like fucking superheroes. When they all five of them all just standing there, and all you see is sexy as fuck, and they just got this. They just radiate this energy, such empowerment in females, but this just came off with this energy like I'm sexy, I'm confident, and I'll fuck shit up. Watch me, bitch. So exciting to have that back again, because after all the drama and all that shit that happened, these girls deserve their spot. You know, I think Nicole should have realized then, like, this group is what the fuck it is because of all of them, not just because of her. Every single one of them have made their imprint in this shit, have so much involvement in it. When you take them away and it doesn't work, you put them back and it works. And then you hear about the stories of these other girls and how they're treated afterwards and during the reunion tour. And I just knew shit was fucked up just when they had their interview and they're talking about the tour and the reunion and all that stuff. And you could just sense by the body language, Nicole was sitting like this way with her legs crossed this way. And the other girls were just kind of bunched together, all vibing. It was just so divided from Nicole. You just knew it wasn't going to fucking work out. We'll never get that fucking tour or reunion ever. It's gotten so nasty between especially Robin and Nicole, but then the other girls kind of speaking out the truth and from their experience. Please do, rightfully so. Don't hold back. We love it. We love to support, especially them, because they were treated like the fucking assholes of the group, like they were disposable when they really weren't. Robin went on to make another fucking girl group like the Pussycat Dolls, and she failed fucking how many times? I think it was like 2 shows that they tried to do. It never quite worked out. Those six girls, all those 6 girls together is magic. It's frustrating because it's like, fuck, bitch, wake up, fuck. Treated this so much better. Realize you're where you're at because of the help of these girls and like Pussycat Dolls, and you owe it to the fans to at least respect them enough to give them the space. Whenever we got React, I was waiting to hear like Carmine and everybody on there doing their own little thing, even some harmonies in that bitch. But then when I heard it was all Nicole, I was like, no, yeah, right away, man, this isn't gonna work. Where the fuck? It's not so vocally complicated that these girls, with the very basic vocals that they have, if you want to even call it that, because people are fucking, shady as shit, they could still sing on that track. There was still room for them to have their own place on that track. Who the fuck called the shots on that one? We want to hear the other girls. So it's kind of just getting, it was back to that same old shit. And then you understood why Melody said, no, fuck this. And yeah, the PCD album, it's still one of like the best albums of 2005. The impact that bitch made worldwide. In high school, they had us all singing with Don't Ya, and learning that Don't Ya first belonged to another artist. I forgot her name, but CeeLo gave it to, I read recently too that it was potentially going to go to Paris Hilton. Anyways, it went to the right people. The way that it just fit like a glove with the group, the Pussycat Dolls, the sexiness trailing off into Buttons and Beep and Stick With You, bro. Like it was such a good time and refreshing to have a girl group, but like really, I guess you could say sexified, taking things to a whole new level, and that can sing and can dance professionally, like really fucking kick some shit. 20 years of this album, 20 years of Pussycat Dolls. A shame, such a shame that it turned out the way that it did. The drama. I might do another Pussycat Dolls post because I want to get into the backside of everything and the drama and, Nicole sleeping her way to the top, word on the fucking street. That's what I heard. I want to get into all that shit. I mean, good for her though, by the way. I don't give a shit. I'd fuck my way to the fucking top. I'd fucking do it too. I don't give a shit. I fuck people for way less. You know what I mean? Shit. We'll get to that eventually because I think there's some juicy shit that we can discuss in there, especially in the comments. Thank you guys for tuning in. You know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time.